Yeah, I'm no stranger to the stage. I just love coming here, not the least of which is Suzanne's cooking and Rex's warm welcome. You know, as I was looking around here this morning, yesterday I was sharing something with Rex and Suzanne about how important it is to notice the results of intentions that we've made. Because sometimes they're abundant, and if we're not paying attention, we might think it's not working. And I shared one, a really big one, that was from a time in my life that was really hard. And as I look around today, the first thing I saw that caught my eye, I should say, are the banners. And I remember a time, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago when I was here with the leadership team. And we did a Friday night, Saturday values clarification process and leadership building process. And we talked about how to bring those values more alive once we, let them find us and we found them. And one of the things I said is, well, you have these great pillars. And so you've probably had these for a while. And I think you had them the last time I was here. But I wasn't so attentive to noticing that sometimes we can plant a seed, and if we're distracted, we don't notice that it's growing. And so it's so essential to recognize in our mind, in our body temple, what we've planted. So we can notice whether it's what we want to be eating and living. The garden is the perfect metaphor. And so, with every thought, we cultivate something. There's 1,000 things I would like to share with you about Ukraine. And I'm still there. I'm not physically there because I came back in 2019 after my usual 5-month visit. And I still have property there, which is being turned into a refugee facility right now, which is really great. And a team of practitioners and former staff people who are partnering with us in the United States. We send a grant every month. You've contributed to that. You passed the basket not too long ago. And now, it was so successful just from me saying it out loud. 3 centers did that. We have a list, and every month we're asking 5 centers to do that, to join with what you've done, because it makes a real difference. And I'll have some literature somewhere, or there after the service, that you can pick up that tells you a little bit about that program. And today being Memorial Day, I have to be very mindful how I think about these things. But, the dance, the consciousness, is to be able to stand in peace in a horrific war and not lose yourself. Not lose the part of you that believes that light is greater than darkness. Because the evidence of the light is not as obvious as the evidence of the darkness, as you might imagine. I was in the military during Vietnam, and I remember that. I wasn't in any active zone, but I was married to a captain, and I was in civil service, and the 59th Fighter Wing flew in and out of Goose Bay, Labrador, and we took care of them coming and going. So I remember some of the impact of wars. I was going to say wars that really have no meaning or purpose. I mean, ultimately, if there were more peace, there would be no time for war. Really. People say that that peace is the absence of war, but that's not true. It's not true, because even in wartime, we still have all of these judgments and these opinions and these fears, right? Even the little wars that we carry in our heads about the neighbor's dog, or that person who bags the things at the grocery store who's just really rude, or people driving too fast on the road, or your partner not understanding when you're really trying to say something really special and important, or any number of things, right? Those are little wars, those are little battles that we have. And when we think about out of the darkness comes the light, well, that light doesn't come from somewhere else. It comes from in here, as Suzanne has really beautifully established today. As she said, there is no place to go look for the divine reality. It is in us, like a drop of water in the ocean. You might be able to take one drop out of the ocean, but you cannot take the ocean out of the drop. You cannot follow the universe. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't. Even if you didn't like it, even if you were mad and you blamed God for something, you couldn't get rid of it. You couldn't remove it. It is the light that has you breathe. It is the thing that has that air cultivate your whole body. It's a miracle. And so in the middle of the war, we are teaching students how to be a place of peace, how to plant seeds of peace in their garden. And we've been doing this for 2.5 years. And we've had over 14,000 students. 14,000 students. And 200 teachers in almost 200 schools. And so we are cultivating consciously a forward-thinking, life-affirming, new thought-like garden with the children of Ukraine. And you know what? They already know it. The teachers say, gosh, I don't know if I can teach this. I don't really understand this philosophy. It's not something I've worked with. I say, I know. So find a handle for it. Imagine is a big way we work. Share it with the children. Do the work in the workbook yourself. It will show you what you know and what you want to know. And then share that with the children. And you will find that they know. It's inherent and they haven't been away too long from it. And of course, the older you get, a little more doubting everyone is, but it's never too late. So if you're feeling like peace is just an illusion or a silly thought, I promise you, it is not. It is not any of those things. It is the pure potential of humanity. And you have it. And you don't have to go anywhere to get it. So, I want to thank you for all you've done for us over the years. And Reverend Maggie and I were classmates through the whole getting ready. I was sorry I couldn't be here for her celebration, but I love her dearly, and we learned the same way you do, like one step at a time, one habit to change, one new thought to embrace, one thing to forget, and something new to plant. That's what it's like to learn. That's why we're here. And so I have a sentence that I open every week with in Ukraine. We have a 5-week program, and it's 2 semesters, fall and spring, and a booklet, and teachers. And this last semester, 6,326 students in 152 different schools. And we start the week the same way every week, only the sentence ends unique to that week. So I want to start this with you because you're in the midst of a really big visioning and imagining what is possible to attract your new minister. And I want to give you just something I know that will really be helpful to that. And so, if you could just close your eyes for a second and think about how wonderful it was to have Reverend Maggie come here. Think about the energy and the enthusiasm that she brought. She was just, and still is, filled with bubbly, loving energy and deep, deep compassion and patience and faith. And she really developed so much here in this community with herself, growing as we must as leaders, and with the community at the level of which you desired. And so now you are calling in the possibility from the universe for a new spiritual leader. Fortunately, Maggie, in her wisdom, saw Suzanne and recognized in her the strength and the responsibility and the character. And in that, she saw a partner. In that, she saw someone she could rely on and trust, and you could rely on and trust. And even though she didn't know what that was all going to lead to years ago when that began, here we are, with Suzanne holding it in consciousness during this process, clear about what she wants and isn't called to, is called to. And here we are as a community. And so I invite you to notice if you have any little bits of doubt or worry. Because that's so normal. Change calls out that stuff. And if you do what the meditation was this morning. This is peace first practice. The first moment we're aware of a doubt or worry, we take a breath. And we let it out. And we bring that little worry or doubt back there to our awareness when we say, I choose to be at peace about this. And we breathe into knowing peace about that, which was what the meditation was today. To know the highest of all these qualities. And so as you breathe now, I invite you to know that those things that cause any worry or doubt are not very big. And they're no match for the light of possibility that lies within each of us. And so I invite you to say this in your mind after me. Imagine the wonder. Just imagine the wonder of waking up and feeling that there is something so important emerging through us. That we are the imaginal cells for the next level of Foothill Center for Spiritual Living. That through our possibility, we make the way clear to light the path for who is being called to come. Imagine the wonder of waking up and feeling that there is a divine work in action, and it is calling just the perfect person and people. And that we don't have to know how that works. We just need to notice it. That we can imagine it. How does it feel to imagine that we are the how does it feel to imagine that something great is happening? And so breathe again, and as you take that deep breath, feel the power of peace to dissolve the little worry, and the power of conscious choice to lean into what you imagine is possible. Because truly, that's how it's created. We're making it up. So let's make it up that juicy. This is a beautiful facility, a beautiful group of people, and there's room for plenty more. And I see it. I know it is true. And I know that you can too. And so if you take that sentence, every time you have a little doubt, you just imagine that something fantastic is happening here. And it is exactly perfect for you, each of you. And wild horses can't keep away your good. I know that's true, that's how it works, and I am grateful, ever so grateful. I trust it. I trust it so much that I didn't need to give my talk today. I did this because it feels like what everyone is ready for. To just start the practice. That is the consciousness. To imagine that God is all there is. Because we all have little worries and doubts. But when we imagine jihadi, I love to talk about that here. God is all there is jihadi. It's a code. The darkness is an illusion. It is the result of focus on not on the light. It is focus everywhere else. So let's focus on the light. Let's focus on the good. And that light is so much brighter than the darkness. That light is inherently the natural order of things. And the moment we start allowing it in, it starts guiding us forward. Our relationship to darkness or light determines our whole life. Are we leaning into the half-empty cup or the half-full cup? Are we leaning into the doubt or worry or the possibility that we're imagining? It's our choice. Is there an area in your personal life that you would like more peace, more light? Have you ever noticed in your personal life that sometimes things that start really difficultly, like somebody leaves or you get kicked out or there's a war or somebody's ill, and it seems like the end of the world until you realize that it's the answered prayer, that something so powerful can come through that broken seeming, warlike experience that you couldn't have learned, received, accepted any other way. My mother getting cancer at 76. Lung cancer. Everybody thought it was over. And she's not somebody that believes in the same kind of manifestations that we talk about. But she said, I don't know if I have a week, a month, a year, but I'm going to live my life on purpose now. For me, I'm going to do what I love to do. And you know I love you. I've given my life to be in support of you. And now it's my time, so I ask you not to worry. She lived 23 more years. Because she decided that it was worth it. I ruptured a disc in my back. I spent a year in bed. I had to learn to walk. I was as mad as hell. That's when I discovered that there were things that would support me to change my thinking. I changed my life, and I do every day. Noticing what's working is really important. If you're a gardener, you notice when the sprouts come up. If you're really a gardener, you don't go digging before they sprout to see if they're working. You trust that it's going to happen. So when they come up, what do? You're like, oh wow, look, it's working. Or do you go, thank you, soil. You know, you're doing your thing. It's not a miracle. That's the job of the seed in the soil, to get together and grow. Just like it is here, with the ideas and the beliefs that we plant in our brain. So I tell the kids in Ukraine, thoughts are seeds. Thoughts are seeds. You can plant flowers or you can plant weeds. It's our choice. There's lots of ways to practice, and we learn that here. So the peace first breath, the way we were just doing with Suzanne in meditation, it's important to have a visual. When you really doubt and none of that other stuff is working, I want to give you something. You take a clear glass and you go to the nearest patch of dirt. Maybe it's a pot in your house, and you take a spoonful of dirt and you put it in the glass and you stir it all up. And then the glass looks all murky. And then you just go and get the dirt out. And then you go, wow, how do you get the dirt out? And so you can't grab it by trying to remove the dirt. That's like by focusing on the problem, we will not find the solution. There's another way. I'm sure you know it. When I say this, you're going to go, wow, what a great way to know what I know. There's only one way to get the dirt out of that. Besides dumping the whole thing, but then that would dump everything. You take the glass to the kitchen sink, you turn the tap on slowly, and you start putting in new water. Fresh, clear water. That's consciousness. Your choice pulls the lever and brings the glass. And guess what happens? It's called displacement. The water pushes out the water, and with it goes the dirt. Now you have to be patient. Sometimes it takes a while. But that's fine. It always works. 100% guaranteed. If it doesn't, you can call me and yell. But I don't expect any phone calls on that. So use that when you really must, or if there's a relative who thinks you're nuts because you believe that peace is more possible than war in the middle of the world that we live in right now, where everything looks quite different, almost everything. You are the imaginal cell for peace and love on the planet. It is in you. We have been called to this path, not by accident, but by command, to demonstrate that it's true, to prove it. And that's not a wishy-washy little thing. That's the biggest thing I've ever been asked to do. And every day I'm asked to do it. To talk to people whose fathers have died, or whose terrible things have happened, and to talk to them about peace in a way that they can hear it. We can do that. And to put our attention where we want our life. To imagine the things we want. Imagine them being true. Imagine enough kindness that there is no separation between us and the source of life for anyone. Imagine that we can overlook some obvious condition and see that there am I. Your prayer is my prayer too. That's our assignment. So, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be learning. I'm grateful to have a garden that I focus on and that I share with these thousands of children. And I'm grateful that you are here nodding and smiling this morning. Because I know that you know this. It's just really time to practice it as well as we've ever needed to practice. It's now. To find the kindness, to be the person who smiles, who changes someone's reality. And so I'm going to close by asking you to choose, when you're choosing peace, to choose to have a heart at peace. A heart at peace. To care and share the gifts you are. And to see everything not as objects or them, but as part of humanity. It's so easy to say, well, those people, they're like that, or they always do this. That's not true. I was homeless. I lived in my truck with my children and my dog. I've lost everything twice. Everything. I've invested everything, and lost it too in my business. And all of that brought me here. So it's never too hard and it's never too late, because the light is greater than the darkness. But we have to turn the tap and let it in. And then we have to be mindful of what's going out of our mouth and in our hands, and notice if we need to make an adjustment there so that we let it out. And that's, I think, what we're born for. And so all the stories I was going to tell and all the other things I was going to share, I don't need to, because I know you know. And I've done my part to feel what I feel and share it with you. I'm so grateful you're here, and I'm grateful you're at this moment. And I know the solution, there's many options, and you're being called to the right one. I'm excited to see how it works. And I'll be around after service over there by my literature somewhere.